Okay, so I've now finished phase one of the content creation system, which is the pre-processing system. And it's what's shown on my screen right here. Although it's not really the website, like the website here is just temporary, it's just for me to be able to observe the data. Really the value in the system is the actual data that we're seeing. So what's happening is it's taking everything from my iCloud photos here, and automatically ingesting it from the cloud into the system. And in addition, it's taking everything from some of my other cameras that sync to their own cloud. Like I have a GoPro camera, which sends footage to the GoPro cloud. I have a Canon camera, sends stuff to the Canon cloud, just directly over Wi-Fi. And then my system is connected to those and suck it in as well. Get it from the Mac and then ingest it here. Then what the system does whenever it gets a new video clip is that it does a bunch of pre-processing to make it easier for the editor agent later to actually work with it. Because the editor is just going to be an AI coding agent like Cloud Code or Data, like it's an LLM. So they can't really watch the video. I'll give it some tools to watch the video if it needs to, or watch parts of it. But we try to pre-watch the video a little bit and then save that as text descriptions. So for example, this one. So this is a video while I was driving to the gym, just singing along with the rap songs while I was driving. So the transcript is So there's a couple different types of processing steps it does. It makes a one-line summary, which is what the editor is going to see first. When it looks at all the footage, it's going to just read this for all of them. It's a lot about the songs, but it's very noisy in this one, so it's understandable. Then we get a textual description. So this one is supposed to kind of be the first way for you to understand the video. If you see it blind, if you cannot actually see it, you can only read text. This is supposed to help you understand what the video is. I would have hoped that this one had been much longer actually, but it's all right. And then the next one is the timeline, which again is gonna really help you together with the description to understand what's actually happening in the video without watching it. So this one is, again, I wish it was longer and more detailed. This is really a matter of prompt engineering. I'm already on like my third pass. I'm finding it hard. Anything you might want to include in the edit. This one is particularly interesting. It rates kind of the quality of the footage in terms of how it works for a video editor or content creation. So it points out the quality of the footage and the audio and kind of the lighting conditions. And it points out good clips to include or good points to cut out or to do cuts. And then I got a safety one. This is a prompting issue. It should not be including all of this. I'm really only wanted this output. It's mostly looking for leaked credentials or nudity, which we do not want to accidentally include. Yeah, so this one has really not behaved as I wanted to. Then we do face detection. Here's only me, but it's recognized me, and we do voice person detection based on their voice as well. And then we also do embeddings, which it's vector embeddings. I'm not going to explain exactly what it is. Now, if you imagine you're an editor and you get a piece of footage and you don't actually get to watch it, you only get this text and this text here, it's really not enough to do a good job of editing. I will say though, for the transcript, it doesn't show it here, but there's actually a timestamp on every single word. So it's quite easy for the editor, being an AI, to edit it, to cut out silences and to cut out retakes and only include like one of each. But that's a very basic type of editing. But then anything on top of that, which requires visually understanding the content, it's going to be hard for the AI. So I've tried to help it out with these descriptions. It's really not enough though. Like if this is all you get and you don't get to watch it, you can try, but it's going to be difficult. But hey, now we're going to try. But then the editor is actually going to have tools that it can, while it's running, kind of watch the video as well. So some of the same techniques we're using ahead of time to watch the video to make this, the editor can also do this while it's working, take maybe a short clip and get a very detailed description of what's happening there, or timeline, maybe get like a second-by-second breakdown of some clip. But there is a little bit of a cost associated every time you do something like that. It takes some time. And then since these clips might be reused for multiple different... So this is essentially what the editor is going to see. So I'll send it a message, like for example, hey, make a Instagram reel vlog from the footage from yesterday, or maybe make a more long form, maybe boring YouTube video just showing working on this system over the past week. And then it starts seeing what you saw now. And it's probably not going to read the full descriptions and timelines of everything because it's a little bit too much information. So it'll start by looking at the dates, the summaries, maybe something more depending. Figure out of all the footage, what footage is actually relevant. Then it's going to pull all this into its own workspace. And then it might go and explore the full data it has on everything, read the full descriptions and timelines. So now it has a pretty good idea. It can start theorizing about different ways to structure the story or the timeline throughout the video. And then it starts working, can like decide which clips to use where and how to cut them together and whatever. And then it'll probably, depending on, this is the next thing I'm gonna get into, depending on how well we prompt it to actually not just understand the video from a transcript perspective, but more visually understand the video, is gonna probably have to very actively use these type of tools to watch the video or watch different parts of it, or after it stitches it together, watch like the new edit to kind of see how it feels. And when I say watch, what I mean is that, so now the next phase will be to start experimenting with the actual editing. So I have a coding agent set up on this cloud machine where all the footage is, and it's gonna be automated, but first, initially, I'm gonna just do it kind of interactively, like a chat back and forth with this coding agent to make it edit, see how it works, see what kind of tools it wants to pull in. I'll give it all the resources it wants or thinks is necessary through a conversation. And I think over time, we'll learn different tools or patterns that are useful that actually give good results, or start with working results and then hopefully build up to good results over time. And then as we see what works and doesn't work, we can start building this into a system, which can then just run automated.